most women, Black women in particular, were perming their hair, so chemically treating their hair in order to make it straight, to kind of conform to like European standards of beauty. And so what we realized is during that time frame, these chemicals and the treatments that they were putting on their hair were very, very toxic, right? They were very dangerous for them.
Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Business Ninjas. I'm here today with Tim Lewis, co-founder and chief technical officer at CurlMix. Tim, how you doing today?
I'm doing really well today. It's a good day. Fall has fully kicked in Chicago. I'm enjoying the jacket weather for now.
There you go. Well, as a guy from New York who has lived in LA for 19 years and has a closet full of leather, I too am excited to now be living back in the East Coast where it's getting chilly. So
the fall is my time. That's my favorite.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate you spending some time with us on Business Ninjas. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and about CurlMix.
So at CurlMix, we are a beauty brand that focuses on teaching women how to master their curls in 21 days, or our product is free via store credit. And we have a 4-step system that allows you to get the best wash and go ever. And that's this hairstyle right here. I just grew my hair out over the last couple of years, and now I have immaculate curls, right? And anyone can achieve this with our system and with the support that we offer with our 21-day masterclass. And we've been in business since 2015, but we didn't always start out this way, right? It's been a long journey to get here. And so I'm happy to share that with you.
Excellent. Hey, money back guarantees raise eyebrows in a big way in this day and age. So I applaud your approach. Tell me a little bit about your background. How'd you end up co-founding CurlMix?
So my background actually is nothing close to what I'm doing today, right? When I left school, my goal was to be a professor in behavioral economics.
Wow.
So I was actually working at UChicago at the Booth School of Business. And I was working in the lab with like Richard Thaler and a few other people, like the father of behavioral economics. And I was going to be a scientist professor. And my wife is actually the one who kind of came up with the idea for what CurlMix is today, but it actually started with our very first business, which was called the Natural Hair Academy. Okay. And it was part of her senior project in her entrepreneurship class was to like build an app that you thought would be really, really cool business. And, you know, we came out of school thinking like she was going to be the next Mark Zuckerberg. We were going to launch this social network for women with natural hair. We're going to raise VC money, move out to the Valley, like all that stuff. But come to find out, we could not get a VC to give us any money at all. Like even to return a call or an email was like a challenge. So no VCs would listen to us. We tried to go the whole pitch competition route. To this day, we have not won any money in a pitch competition. And so we're sitting at home after work one day, and I'm cooking dinner, and my wife is watching Who Wants to Be a Millionaire on TV. And I'm a huge trivia nerd, captain of the academic decathlon team growing up. And so I'm answering the questions right while I'm cooking. And she's like, how are you doing this? I'm like, I love you. Like, I can do this. She's like, you know what? I got an idea. Like, you could go on this show and we could win some money, and then we could use that to fund the business. Honestly, I was like, no, that's dumb. They're never going to like waste of time. Like, we can just pitch. We can keep going, like keep hustling. And one day I came home from the lab and she was like, I know you think it's stupid, but I booked your plane ticket, I booked your hotel, and I booked your tryout ticket. Like, you going to New York? I said, yes, dear. I got on that plane.
Yes, dear. Two of the most important words in the English language, right?
Yes, dear. Be obedient. That's some advice for the new husbands. But yeah, got on the plane, end up making it through all the tryouts, got on the show, and ended up winning $100,000 on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And that is what we use to fund the business early on.
Nicely done.
Yeah, we did Natural Hair Academy for a couple years and it failed ultimately. We realized we were going to have to be a media company. And I think over that whole life of that business, we sold one ad spot for $250.
Ouch.
And we just call that investment, our getting our MBA in entrepreneurship, right? We learned everything we could. We made connections. I learned how to build websites and build apps. And so we kind of hustled and did everything ourselves. And our promise to ourselves with the next business, like we're gonna make money on day one. And we're gonna do it the right way. And at the time, my wife was a DIYer in the natural hair space, and we had all those connections from running the Natural Hair Academy. We had the idea for a DIY box for curly hair, and we called it CurlMix after watching someone on Shark Tank have this box where they did like DIY organic cookies. And I was like, babe, you could do that. Like we could call it CurlMix. You could send them all the ingredients to make their own hair care products at home. And you can stop messing up my kitchen and like get this in the kitchen. And we launched that one. We did that one for 2 years, and we ended up becoming like a six-figure subscription box business.
Excellent.
Yeah, and we ran it till about 2017 when we realized, you know what, we're not growing like we wanted to, right? It's not taking off. People are unsubscribing. We have a lot of churn. And we're trying to figure it out. Like, what's going on? So we talked to our customers and come to find out they were buying one main box over and over again, which was our flaxseed gel. And then they also said, like, I would cancel my subscription because the boxes are just stacking up in my house and I'm not using them. And what we realized is that business was what we call a vitamin and not a painkiller. It was a cool, fun project, nice to have, but it wasn't really solving a customer pain point. And so, but our flaxseed gel was. No one else had a flaxseed gel on the market that was viable. And that's what helps you get this natural style, right? But then also it's very healthy for you. So it's natural. You can make it at home. But the problem with flaxseed gel is that it goes bad almost right away. So no manufacturer had figured out how to preserve it. We talked to our advisor and he was like, you know what? See if you can produce this flaxseed gel. So we went to manufacturers. They turned us down. I think we went to like maybe 3 or 4. They all said like it can't be done. The process is too variable because you have to boil flax seeds, extract the gel, then you have to like homogenize it with oils and things like that to preserve it. And you never know what yield you're gonna get. So it just wasn't something that was easy for manufacturers to do. And our advisor was like, you know what? If this is a gap in the marketplace, you should figure it out. If the demand is there and the gap is there and you're actually solving a pain point and you can create something new, you should do it. So my wife, bless her heart, she spent a month in our kitchen, 7 months pregnant, mind you, 7 months
Oh,
making 50, 60 different batches of flaxseed gel until she finally got it right. And you know what? We were like, let's see if people really do want this. So we had our audience. We sent out an email like, hey, we're doing a done for you ready-made flaxseed gel we're gonna open up 60 spots for pre-orders. That sold out almost immediately. Okay, we're like, let's open up another one and another one and another one. And then those all sold out. We were like, let's stop because now we actually have to make it. But I think we have something on our hands. And so at the top of 2018, we pivoted the business and just cut off all of our DIY subscriptions. Like I said, this was a six-figure business, and we went from like 15, 16K a month down to like almost nothing that January. We had a little cry about it, but I was like, don't give up. We just need to build on this. If we can double, from I think we did 3,000 in January. If we can double that next month, we'll be in really good shape. We went from 3,000 to 8,000. We were like, oh, wow, okay, we got momentum. If we can double that, next month, we'll be right back to where we were with the DIY box. And we ended up going from 8,000 to 30,000 in March. And we were like, oh, we're going to need some help, right? It really started to take off. We had not run any ads. This was just our previous audience and organic marketing. And so we were lucky enough at the time that we got an investment from Arlen Hamilton at Backstage Capital. It was the first money we had ever raised, first money into the business to help us start to scale that process, get it out of our house, and into a facility because we were doing everything in our kitchen. The shipping was in the
Oh my.
basement. It was in the living room. Our brand new baby was learning how to walk in between boxes. It got to be crazy. And that year, we ended up going from that 3,000 month in January to over 1 million in sales by the end of the year. And so we were just rolling at that point.
Excellent. That's an impressive trajectory. And what year again was that?
That was 2018.
And what's the 5 years been like since then?
So that year of 2018, it was a whirlwind, but we knew like, okay, we're growing really fast. Like we're going to need some help if we want to scale this because this could be big. We knew we wanted to launch more products so that we could create a system. We learned that from, in the DIY box days, you want to have something that if you have something that is going to be consumable, what you really need to have to succeed in D2C is you need margin, you need repeat purchasing, and potentially you need to create a routine. So we wanted to build out the system to have shampoo, conditioner, moisturizer, and gel. So you can go from, nothing to complete style with our products. That increases AOV. That gives us the ability to run subscriptions. We're like, okay, cool. We got that in place. Now we're going to need more money, more advice, more help because we're in uncharted territory. We knew how to run a 6-figure business, didn't really know how to run a 7-figure business. And so we got a call from my aunt, and she was like, I know you got your business going, and I know you were interested in Shark Tank. It was like, there's a tryout tomorrow in Chicago. Like, are you interested? We were like, yeah, we're interested. It was our dream to be on Shark Tank. Because we had watched it, growing up. I think every new entrepreneur watches Shark Tank just religiously. And so we knew all about it. We wanted to do that tryout, but we couldn't find babysitting. So we decided to take our what was he was maybe 5 months at the time, 5-month-old to the Shark Tank tryout. He slept the whole way through up
Nice.
until we were giving our pitch. He started crying in the middle of the pitch, and we were like, oh, they're not gonna pick us. But at the end of it, they're like, you guys are so cute. You Kim and Tim, your names rhyme. I love the love story that goes with it. Business is cool, like you're in. And so we ended up getting on to Shark Tank as well, going through that whole process. And we ended up on Shark Tank, and that aired in the beginning of 2019, in March 2019. And in that intervening time, we were able to get connected via Arlen to some angels to help us scale up to meet the demand that we knew was going to come from that Shark Tank episode.
Sure.
So Jeff Weiner and a few of his partners were able to give us about 400K, 200K to prep for the Shark Tank launch. We launched on Shark Tank. We did almost 1 million just after Shark Tank aired. And then Jeff Weiner, bless his heart too, he was watching the show with his wife, and his wife was like, oh my God, this is a really cool business. Have you heard about them? He was like, yeah, I think I invested in them. He kind of forgot, like, that's I want to be that level of rich one day where I can just
You
forget.
forget who you're investing in.
No biggie. But he was like, he called us up after the show. The Sharks are dumb. Like, you guys are great. I want to do more. So we ended up raising a $1 million round. We ended up with 1.2. We kind of rolled that 200K into the round and ended up raising 1.2 on a $12 million valuation after turning down a deal on Shark Tank for a $2 million valuation from Robert Herjavec. And so we were rolling. We ended up doing 5 million that year. And we've been able to scale now to over 10 million in sales last year. And so we have just been kind of growing ever since. And then on the back end of that, we did have some struggles here and there with raising money. So we went from, 6-figure business to 7-figure business. Then we're from, 1 million to 5 million, and we still could not raise VC money. We knew we wanted to scale. We have some big people to compete with, right? But we could not get VC money. They were always like, we want to see more, we want to see more. And so we decided, you know what, we're going to forget this circus. Let's crowdfund. And right at the top of 2021, the laws had changed around crowdfunding. to allow you to raise up to 5 million. And I think it was capped at 1 million before. They said you could raise up to 5 million. We're like, let's just do it. And so we raised the largest beauty crowd fund ever. I think we ended up over 4.5 million
Wow.
raised crowdfunding, and that was largely from our audience, our customer base. We have now over 7,000 investors, a lot of whom are curl mixers, people in our community, because that's been the real key to our business over this time, this whole life of the business was community, building up that audience, constantly communicating with them. We have a very active email list and Facebook group. I think there's 20,000, maybe more now, almost close to 25,000 women in our Facebook group, and it has like 80 to 90% engagement. And so it's a really vibrant community that we've been able to build and then serve through CurlMix.
I repeat, an incredible trajectory. I saw a clip of you turning Herkovich down on Shark Tank. Wow, that's a bold move, but obviously it paid off for you.
Oh, absolutely.
What are the most common problems you're solving for your clients, other than just educating them on how to take care of themselves?
Yeah, so the natural hair movement is still relatively new. So prior to maybe the early 2000s, late 1990s, early 2000s, most women, Black women in particular, were perming their hair. So chemically treating their hair in order to make it straight, to kind of conform to like European standards of beauty. And so what we realized is during that time frame, these chemicals and the treatments that they were putting on their hair were very toxic, right? They're very dangerous for them. A lot of women had hair loss. My wife in particular, one of the reasons why she decided to DIY and create her own products was because she had alopecia from getting constant perms. I think from the time she was 5 until being an adult, she had never saw her natural hair. It was always perm, and her hair started to fall out. And that's the case for a lot of women. And so moving back to, chemical-free hair, natural hair has been the trend for a while, but it's driven out of this need for, focusing on your health, because a lot of these big companies just really don't care about us. And so we came in with that aspect, but we've now learned that that is like not enough, right? It's almost become the baseline. Yes, you can't poison your customers. Every brand should be safe, healthy, natural, and organic. What we've really discovered over the years is that you want to create, you want to be solving a problem, one that's a real pain point. And a lot of these women don't know how to do their hair. They don't know how to achieve a style that is readily available, that's easily replicable, that they can build a routine around that also looks good, whether they're at the soccer game with their kids or in the boardroom at work. And that's what the Wash and Go allows you to do. And so we've been able now to craft an offer that, includes great natural and organic products that are safe and healthy, that you can trust, paired with the education through our 21-day masterclass that you need to learn how to care for your hair, learn how to do the styles, and then build the routine around our systemized products. And then we follow that up with a community that is constantly supporting you through your journey. And I feel like that's a big thing that a lot of companies now are missing, is that personal connection to the brand. We're now closer than ever with the communities that we serve. And if you are faceless, nameless, or you don't have a community or a mission that you can speak to that's greater than, oh, I have this cool doodad with these features, right? If you can't build that ravenous fan base, you aren't going to be successful. And so we've created all those lessons, we've gathered all those lessons and created the company that can serve that community.
Excellent. Now, this is no longer just D2C, right? You have some partnerships.
Yes, we literally just launched an Ulta. So that has just been something that it was a long time coming, but it's been a journey, right? It's the natural kind of flow for a product company, CPG, to go into retail, because D2C can really it can take you very far. But the vast majority of CPG purchases happen offline, right? I think it's still 70% of the market takes place offline. It's growing. And then, of course, of that 30% that all of e-commerce is sharing, right, most of that is Amazon. So we are fighting an uphill battle with D2C. We've been successful, but we knew we would have to go into retail one day in order to capture the rest of that market. And so we had turned down retailers throughout the years because we knew we weren't ready. I feel like that's a mistake a lot of early entrepreneurs in the beauty and CPG space make. You go into retail really early, thinking that that's the route to success, but you're now beholden to this giant corporation who kind of sees you as just another number. Like, your whole business is a rounding error on their spreadsheets, right? So you have to make sure you go in from a position of power. And so I always recommend people build up their D2C as much as possible, build up the network, build up the community, so that you can go in and say, I have 250,000 customers that are excited about my brand. And there's a big market that doesn't know about me yet. And I feel like that is where the partnership happens. I have my customers, you have your customers, we want them to mix. I need them, you need me. Let's work together. And that's when you get favorable terms, because you don't want to be, a new business, waiting to get paid 30, 60, 90 days out, and having to produce and ship all this inventory while also marketing to send people into a store where you don't get to see who's buying your product, right? You don't get to get that customer feedback. You don't know what happens once your product's at the shelves. And so the other side of that is data feedback that you need to constantly improve your marketing, your messaging, and your new product offerings.
Obviously, you have to educate your new distributors on how to sell your product and how to engage your pre-existing audience and a new audience.
Exactly, and a lot of that education is going to come at your cost as well, right? So, in addition to shipping in those ingredients, you have to send in free samples, you have to educate the store staff, you have to create lots of assets and all these things. And so that can be very, very tough for a new brand. So you really want to go in after you've got product market fit on your D2C brand, you're growing and scaling, and you just see that as another way to distribute your products to break into a new market, versus like, this is going to be the lifeblood of my business.
Gotcha. Let's switch gears. Tell me about the COVID years, where the challenges and opportunities were, and how difficult it was to grow your business through COVID.
COVID was unexpected because you had it was like a two-factor thing for us, because you had people at home shopping online for the first time, which was great, but we are vertically integrated, meaning we do everything from R&D to shipping to marketing all in-house. And so we manufacture, and that means we have to get ingredients from all over the world. We have to get packaging from all over the world. And so as much as we were like happy that we got lots of new customers shopping online, we had stuff sitting in ports on boats because no one can ship it to us. We had product delays and ingredient delays, packaging delays, all those supply chain challenges that everyone else had to deal with. We had to deal with too. And so back to community, we were just upfront with our people. We were like, hey, we loved all the influx of new customers. We're going to get you your orders as soon as possible. We were going live in our Facebook group. We were talking to our customers, and we were like, we understand this is uncharted territory for all of us. So this is what we expect to happen. These orders will be delayed. We're going to get it out by this time. We're making this on this date. So we were able to get really, really detailed, and be highly, highly communicative with our audience. And that was what saved us, I think. But it was a challenge, right? It was very much one of those, everybody hurry up and scramble whenever you possibly can, or find out new ways. We had to go to some unexpected routes to find new vendors, to prioritize things that we could get locally or within the United States. You can ship on trucks, but you can't ship on boats, or you can ship via the planes and pay more, all this stuff. So we had to really get our supply chain just a whole tune-up. And that actually helped us now to be more resilient. So it was a blessing and a curse, but we made it through, and we're better for it, for sure. But, I don't know if I want to go back to those COVID days.
And when you say in-house, you're meaning you're literally all of those chores and tasks were in-house, kitchen, living room, and dining room.
Oh, back in the yeah, and during COVID, we were in a facility. Right now, I have a 35,000 square foot factory now that we moved into last year, which is on the south side of Chicago. And before that, we were at like a co-working space for manufacturing companies. So we had like maybe 15,000 square feet spread across 3 different units, across 3 different buildings. And so that was just a whole nother logistical challenge. So we've been able to kind of come out of COVID now better prepared to grow and scale this new version of our business, which includes retail. And so like my big project now is, as you know, CTO, we're improving all of our offerings, improving our technology, adding kind of new features to that brand, embracing kind of some of the AI content producing tools. But then on the operation side of things, we are scaling up to be able to fulfill retail orders and potentially scale globally up to 100 million in sales. So I'm building out capacity now in our facility to get us to that 9-figure mark.
Wow, excellent. Well, hey, you broached the subject of content. What role has content played in the growth of CurlMix?
It's been absolutely essential, right? Especially when you're talking about organic reach, and in a space where you have to educate the customers, where it's a lot of misinformation, a lot of competing voices. You want to be seen as an authority. And so we've produced some really successful keystone pieces of content, like our 21-day masterclass. Previous to this, we had CurlMix University, which was an ebook, a course, all the education suite. And then of course we focus on video and social a lot now, more than ever. And we see as on our marketing is kind of shifted to leading with social, leading with content, and then following up with ads and community-based things after that. And so content has been key to our growth strategy since the very beginning.
Excellent. All right. Look down the road a year, and I know you and your lofty goals, I can only imagine the answer. What are some things you'd like to be celebrating personally and professionally a year from now?
A year from now, I would love to be we're edging towards like profitability. I think this will be a big year for us to see whether or not we can grow profitably. We're on track to be profitable this year, and I want next year to be like a big boom year for us. As we start to look at, what kind of distribution do we want to grow? We have one retail partner right now. We have a year of exclusivity. What is going to be the next step, the next partner, the next market that we're going into? Where are we at on our product roadmap? What are some other gaps in the marketplace that we feel like, with our newfound capacity that we can fill? And so we like to talk to our customers, create new products that they've been asking for, test them quickly through a program we have called CurlMix Fresh, which is like small batch handmade things, and then launch those at a larger scale. And so next year is all about growth, growing profitably. And then beyond that, it'll be like, well, on the personal side of things, I would love to be able to get more executive leadership in place. So if we want to get to that 9-figure level, we're going to need the talent to support that. Of course, like any startup, we're all learning on the job. I did not go to school to run a factory. So I'm going to be leaning on the experience of, some of the newer executives who we could bring in to help us get to that next level of business. So I'm excited about that. And I can focus then on like all the CTO stuff that I'm excited about. There's so much new technology out there that I'm playing with on the side that I want to get integrated into the business. And so next year, I'm just going to be tinkering away, launching as much as I possibly can on that tech side, as long as it makes sense for the business.
Excellent. Excellent. Please tell us, what's your URL? Where can people find CurlMix, and what social media outlets you're using these days?
Yes, you can find us at curlmix.com. That's the big one. So from there, you can shop, get connected to the community, sign up for our masterclass. But and then of course, we're everywhere at CurlMix on social. Instagram, Facebook are our big ones, and YouTube as well. And then, of course, me personally, I'm Tim Lewis Tech everywhere, but Instagram is my main thing. I'm getting to be a content creator myself now. My team is always pushing me like, you have to record, you have to go live, you got to do videos. I'm normally a behind the desk guy, right? But everybody is on the content team now. And people want to see the behind the scenes. They want to see the faces that support the businesses that they love. And so, we're all having to grow and stretch into the content game.
Well, you're pretty infectious for a behind the desk kind of guy. So I second your team's opinion that you need to get your face and your energy out there.
Thank you. Thank you. That's what they say, and I believe them. I hope.
Tim Lewis of CurlMix, thank you for spending some time with us on Business Ninjas and sharing your amazing trajectory and story. I wish you and yours and the missus and CurlMix all the best. Continued success in the future.
Thank you for having me. I had a blast.
My pleasure. Be well.